Good evening. Over the news here on Times Now, Madha's Gopal Krishnan, and there's some breaking news coming in at the top of this bulletin as far as the Seer in Karnataka is concerned. This is the Murugha Seer who's all set to be taken to court. This is the Seer who was arrested last night in a POCSO case, and now we are told that the cops are prepping the POCSO accused Seer to be taken to the court. He could be taken to the court to be produced before the magistrate is what sources are indicating to us. And for more on this, let's go across to Deepak, who's joining us live from Chitradurga. Deepak, we understand this Seer could be taken to the court. The cops, of course, have 24 hours before they formally present him before the magistrate. But we also know, all right, Imran joining us for more on this. Imran, we also know that the courts have been quite scathing in their comments as far as the role of the police is concerned. Take us through what has happened so far and what we can expect. All right, Deepak, back with us. Over to you, Deepak.
Yes, Madhav, there is a lot of meticulous planning going on as far as the movement of the Seer is concerned, where he's going to be kept, which route he's going to be taken. Well, he was taken for medical examination yesterday, while he was taken before the magistrate as well, and where, he was remanded to judicial custody from prison this morning. He was brought in a police van to the casualty ward of the government hospital here in Chitradurga. He walked into the casualty ward after about an hour of tests being conducted. We were told that his health condition is deteriorating, and then, he came in a wheelchair and then finally in a stretcher to this ICU complex, which is just next door. The doctors came here and briefed us that after certain doctors came in from Davangere, they did, suggest that he needs more medical evaluation and needs to be shifted to Bengaluru, probably Jayadeva Hospital. Now, while all of this was happening, the cops have gone to court today. They've sought his, judicial custody. I beg your pardon, his police custody for questioning. At that point in time, the court has asked them where is the accused, and that's where they've come to know that he's in the hospital, and they've expressed concerns about, why the court was not informed about being in the hospital. As we speak, he's now, of course, being brought out in a wheelchair. The Seer being brought out in a wheelchair. Here you see. Health condition. Well, there you see the cops are now having no option but to take him to the court, because the court, asking the cops to produce him and also questioning as to how they, were not, the court was not informed by the police about his health condition or about him being hospitalized, and even a plan to even move him out of Chitradurga. So it is basically, the court that has pulled up the cops over this matter. Now, resulting in this, what has now happened. We saw an ambulance already with the latest medical equipment. You can see even this particular police van completely covered up with a piece of cloth so that nobody gets a glimpse of the Seer seated inside. Even the back portion as well covered. You can see all of it covered. So this is how his movement has been happening. They're trying to ensure that people don't get a glimpse of him as he moves around. There's of course concerns about the security as well, which could be one of the reasons for that. Now this police van will head towards court. Earlier, like I mentioned, there was an ambulance here that came in. The ambulance was equipped with all the medical equipment good enough for an ICU, and he was supposed to be shifted to Bengaluru. But all of that plan has changed. We'll have to see after this change that the court has initiated in the entire process, how the situation really unfolds in court once he is produced, whether the court will grant permission for him to be moved to Bengaluru, or any other instruction will be given. Based on that, of course, developments could take place in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Back to you, Madhav.
Absolutely, and in fact, what will happen in the court will be very, very crucial indeed, as you rightly mentioned there, Deepak. But you did try to put a question on his health condition. Was there any response from the Seer?
Well, as expected, he of course refraining at this point in time. Earlier we saw him, lying down in a stretcher. But yesterday he's walked by himself to the government hospital, of course, from the main entrance to wherever the tests were conducted. He's walked back into his car. After that, he's gone to the magistrate. At about 3 last morning. Then was taken into the prison. because he was remanded to judicial custody. This morning as well, he walked into the next building that I'm standing in, that's the casualty ward. And in about an hour, they decided they'll conduct the ECG, they'll conduct blood tests, they'll also do a CT scan because he was complaining of abdominal pain leading up to his chest. Then we had expert cardiologists who came in here from Davangere who are of the opinion that he needs more medical evaluation and which can be done in a better hospital. They were contemplating Davangere and Bengaluru, and Bengaluru was chosen. While all of these choices were being made, the court was quite surprised that the cops who are seeking his custodial interrogation, didn't even have the man with him, or a possibility of him being interrogated was also bleak because he was in the hospital, and the court being surprised that the court was not informed about him being hospitalized, about his health condition, and asking that the police produce him before them. So that's the process that's being followed now. He's going to be presented before the magistrate. What the court will say now to the accused, or in this particular matter whether they'll give him permission on his health grounds, because we should understand that the jail superintendent now is in charge of the Seer, because once judicial custody is handed over, it's not the local police but the jail superintendent who will have to manage all aspects as far as the accused is concerned.
Right.
They have also presented the medical documents here that the doctors have presented. That's been already given to the court, and looking at all of this, there could be a decision soon about his movement from Chitradurga.
All right, stay with us Deepak, because you're bringing us from all the action over there in Chitradurga. Late till last night you were reporting on this story and the arrest as well. But let me quickly bring in Imran on this. Imran, this appears to be some kind of a violation of procedure, at least what the court is pointing out, because the fact that this Seer was hospitalized was not even informed to the court. And if they do want his police custody, how are they going to do it if the accused himself is hospitalized? Now, these are some very pertinent questions that the court is raising as far as the role of the police is concerned.
Well, Madhav, before the arrest, they had taken the Seer for a medical checkup, and if there was any issues in that, there is a lapse on the part of the police to inform the court. That was not done. If they had no medical issues, then this medical issue which is arise now, is it an afterthought? Is it as part of strategy on the part of his lawyers to ensure that they get the bail? Now, we saw earlier that the Swamiji himself was walking around in the evening when he was caught, and later he was brought to the hospital. They took him in the wheelchair, now the stretcher. Is it really the case? We are not sure of it, but many of the activists are questioning is that we've seen a precedent earlier when the VVIPs are arrested. They don't like to spend time in the jail. Instead, they claim that they have medical issues and they're brought to the hospital. Even the former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa, who had come in support of the Seer there, he himself, when he was arrested in a corruption case, he claimed that he has chest pain and he was taken to the hospital before he was going to the jail. So these are the some people are questioning the fact that even VVIPs enjoy this this kind of privilege, and we have seen in several cases, not just in this case but several other cases, to have a precedent that when the VVIPs are arrested, they claim to medical issues and then they are spending time in the jail, spending time, beg your pardon, in the hospital but not in the jail. But of course, the doctors have said that he has some ECG has shown some heart issues. In fact, we spoke to Jaidava Hospital officials. They said that at the room floor number 6, they have sanitized the entire place. They have kept for Swamiji, since Swamiji is a high-profile case there, and if he comes, there are a lot of people who will come to meet Swamiji there. So they have already made preparations for at the Jaidava Hospital on the 6th floor. There seems to be already a communication gone to the Jaidava Hospital at Swamiji, likely to be brought today. What time, we are not sure, but we got a confirmation from Jaidava Hospital officials that they have started preparation for it. They've already, at the 6th floor of the hospital, they'd ensured that a smooth transition happens there when he's brought to the hospital, any kind of medical checkup. Right. And, so there seems to be already the state is planning much more steps ahead before we are even informed. And now, whether it's a really case of medical case or it's a kind of sympathy to be elicited so that bail application can be seen with the court, this is what some people have doubts about it. It could be part of the strategy of the courts, whether the state administration.
Let's get in Deepak on that. Let's get in Deepak on that point. Very important point that you're making over there. Is it just a bogey, Deepak? That's a question that many would ask, because 5 days that this Swami has been in the ashram, and then this Seer suddenly gets chest pain at the very moment that his arrest takes place. Now, many are going to question whether this is just a coincidence or if this is some kind of a deliberate strategy or a ploy.
Precisely, Madhav. you know, the investigation should go on in a transparent manner, that everybody, you know, doesn't find a lacuna or doesn't find a reason to believe that special treatment is being given to him. We saw that, you know, how the investigation went on in the initial stages did suggest that there was a lot of difference, that a common man, if he was facing charges under POCSO and aggravated sexual assault, how he would be treated and how, you know, the seer in this particular case was treated. We saw, you know, the victims being subjected to interrogation, spot inspections and all of that. He continued to remain at the MUT, the very premises where the alleged crime took place. The chances of destruction of evidence was there, you know, tampering with, you know, evidence, even influencing witnesses was there. All of this was ignored. And then while the arrest happened, you know, you had people coming in plain clothes, taking him away without, you know, any sort of information. There were no convoys of cars. There was no police jeeps. What is the reason for this hush-hush arrest? Now, as far as the law and order situation, I've spoken to multiple cops. I've been on the ground for the last 5 days. We've been in multiple situations where we've shown live visuals of him being taken from one place to another. Not even one single place have people come out, shouted a slogan in his support, or have been angered because of his arrest. In fact, many people I spoke to are quite happy that he has even been taken into custody. They're saying now at least, you know, the rule of law is being followed and probably investigation can be done in a fair manner. So what is this hush-hush all about? And now, you know, him being hospitalized raises question. Coming back to what I was trying to say here, while you look at these series of events, doubts definitely arise as to, you know, whether this case of hospitalization, how much truth is there in it, or is it, like Imran was pointing out, yet another privilege that VIPs enjoy, even if they are arrested, they continue to be a VIP. You know, these sort of
those are certainly some pertinent questions.
is.
Deepak and Imran, please stay on with us, because, you know, there's more coming in on the story, because the opposition has, however, targeted the Bombay government for being soft on the Lingayat Seer and providing him political cover fire, while BJP maintains that its stand that law is taking its own course.